Have you ever wanted to play as Zero, but but if Zero was a racist? Boy, do I got the game for you. No, but what I really mean is you should play Azure Striker Gunvolt 2. Seriously, play the game. Okay, okay. So why should you play Azure Striker Gunvolt 2? Well, because you saw that my first video and you're like, wait a minute, this guy's trying to convince me to play Azure Striker Gunvolt 1, even though that game is kind of okay. And I was never really interested and just flew under the radar, over the radar, because the radar should be like the balance, and it's over, meaning it's better than normal. I don't know. You should play Azure Striker Gunvolt 2, and then I played the second one. I've played it twice, right? I played it once when I played it back then in the past, and then I played it a second time so I could talk about it because I wanted to talk about it. And that game is surprisingly good. Okay, let's just get this off the bat. Is it better than Azure Striker Gunvolt 1? Story-wise, maybe in some bits. Gameplay-wise, yes. Bosses-wise, no. But cool characters-wise, fuck yeah. So okay. I don't want to spoil too much, right? Because I really want to convince people to play this game, other than knowing it's a Mega Man type of game, because it's a sequel of a Mega Man type of game. Okay, so let's just try to give you like the hard points. I'm trying to make this short this time around, just so that you could ignore me, right? And just run through this and then just play the game yourself. Please play this game. So where do I start? Okay, one thing that I really like about the Azure Striker Gunvolt world is that in the games, in the first one, I don't know if I brought it up in the first video, maybe I did, whoops, I forgot. So what I do like a lot is that, seeing as this is a completely new IP, right? I assume they were banking on Mighty Number 9 making the buku bucks, and they're like, well, let's just throw this one aside, even though it's a million times better. Seriously, it's a million times better. They're like, let's just do whatever what we actually want to do. So in the first game, spoilers ahead, in the first game, you should seriously play the first game. In the first game, you kill your dad. And that's the story. And then you leave your friends behind. And that's the story. And your only friend is a J-pop idol that's living in your head. And that's the story. It's pretty Japanese right there. But they just go with it. Right? No, to me personally, right? Not a lot of people would be like, okay, this is the first game in the series. What do we want to do? What kind of story do we want to tell? We want to tell a story about how the government is corrupt and you get to kill the government and also your father. Super. That's like wrapping up all of the Star Wars trilogy. The first one. In one neat bow and doing it okay, like pretty good. And then the second game, they kind of tell the same story, so that's kind of a bummer, right? -1 point. But it's neat because they bring some characters back and they let you play as, okay, so let me just get to the point of why I want to convince you to play it. This game, in the first video, I explained how Mega Man, this world's Mega Man, is Gunvolt, and he's cool. He has a gun, and he's made of electricity, and he's cool. But then in the second game, they introduced the Zero. He used to be the Copen. They introduced the Zero in this universe, and he's Copen. And even though he doesn't have a Z-Saber or a saber at all, he still uses gun. Pew. He's cooler than Zero by a landslide. Okay, you just click the dislike button. I get it, traitors. But hear me out, because he's cooler than Zero. 100%. Let's go to Mega Man X. Transition. So, in Mega Man X, you play as Mega Man X. Or X. And then you meet Zero in the first mission. And he's like, hey, I'm Zero. I'm better than you in every way, shape, and form. Loser. And then, he's the best. in the first game of Azure Striker Gunvolt, he's like, "Hey, I'm kind of more like Proto Man, but you know I'm the zero type character because my color palette is white and red, so I'm the zero type character because of the red, because it's the opposite of the blue, so it's a zero type character. Shut up! I know Proto Man's red. You shut up." So, and then he's like, "Hey, I'm super cool, but great, I'm evil because I'm like your rival." So let's skip forward in time to the first Mega Man X game where you play as Zero. Mega Man X4, the best Mega Man game, and Mega Man X game, objectively speaking. And he's like, "Okay, I'm Zero. I got a C-Saber, and I got really cool moves. All my moves are called Japanese names, Sangetsu or whatever. I think that's Bleach. Anyway. Oh, I'm super cool because I'm Zero. He's super cool. And his story is, what am I fighting for? But that's neat. That's great. That's tremendous. And then in the long run, you learn that Zero was a bad min, and then he's a good min. Character arc. But in this game, Copen, this is game 0. His name's Copen. His name is bad. It's the only bad thing about him. His name's Copen, and it's bad. And in Japanese, his name's Akira. A million times cooler. In the Western side, his name's Copen. I don't know why. I don't know what Copen means. Is that like a gun thing? I don't know. But his name's Copen, and he's like, "Hey, my name's Copen. I hate you because you mutants. You screw you mutants. I hate you because you're bad." And my father hated you, and I hate you. Poof. He's super cool. And in this game, you're like, okay, this is the part where he becomes good because the game lets you play as him from the get-go. So this is like his redeeming character story arc thing, right? No, you idiot. What do you think this is? Mega Man X? Mega Man X is good, but what I mean is, like, throughout the whole game, without spoiling anything, or I'm really trying to not spoil anything because I don't want to get into like deep details, because play this game seriously. Like, yeah, no, like, don't play for the story because the story's not gonna like blow your mind, but it's cool because he's cool. Anyway, he's like, "Hey, it's me. I hate you, you mutants." In this world they're called adepts, but they're mutants. "I hate you mutants. You're stupid. I'm gonna kill you." Pew pew. And then he kills them, and then you're like, "Oh shit, this is it. He's gonna meet up with Mega Man." Let me just call them by their names. It's just I'm trying to introduce this to people who haven't played a Azure Striker Gunvolt before, and it's really difficult because I'm an idiot. So, hey Gunvolt, I'm trying to okay, without spoilers, they blow up the, so you know in Gunvolt 1, the cyber elf, I can't keep making these comparisons. So the adept girl, the muse, Jewel, she lives in his like subconscious or in his psyche. She's like this it's AI thing. So she's like, "Oh no, I blew up," and then she blows up, and this is what happens. And then he's like, "Oh no, I gotta pick up the pieces." But Copen's on his end being like, "No, I gotta pick up the pieces because I have a sister and I gotta heal her with those pieces because science, and plot." But he's really cool. He uses a gun, and he has this AI which they added out of nowhere because they have to give him a character that they can turn into a Lolita girl because the Jappies. So whatever, man. But he's so cool. He dashes and he shoots things and he dashes. So what I said was sold. I don't know if that was clear. So, he's really cool. Seriously, like, okay, Mega Man's always felt cool to control. Zero felt even cooler because he had to get up close and personal and just slashy slash. Gunvolt's like pew pew electricity. It's pretty boring, but Copen's super cool. He has thruster boots that thrust him with his thruster boots like through the map. And if he dashes on things, he reloads his thrusters so he could just keep thrusting. And if he hits an enemy with his thrust boost, he'll bounce off and he'll lock on. So everything you shoot will hit that enemy no matter where you're shooting at. Because when you bump into him, you kind of put like a tracking for your bullets thing. It doesn't matter. it's cool. And Copen's super cool. I really like, I don't know what to say. I really don't know what to say. I really wanted to sit here and be like, hey, y'all. Sorry. So I really wanted to sit here and try to convince you, hey, play Azure Striker Gunvolt 2 because it's really good. And you're going to like it because it's really good. But unfortunately, I can't do that because I'm an idiot and I'm stupid and I don't make any sense, right? But seriously, I just want you to play Azure Striker Gunvolt 2 because they're gonna keep making games, and I want them to keep making games because Inti Creates is a national treasure. Their nation, but national treasure, and like this is the part where I just want to. I keep saying this is the part where Mega Man's dead, and you heard that in my first video. So accept that, right? Just let it go. Let Mega Man go. And that's kind of what I want to do with these videos. I want to make sure that Mega Man is dead. Like, this isn't like my secret agenda because I said so. That would be a really bad way to keep a secret. But Mega Man's dead. Mega Man 11's okay, but Mega Man's dead. Let others rise from the ashes of Mega Man, right? And the only one who's done it properly, okay, there's a couple who've done it properly. I'm sorry, but the one that I think deserves a bit more credit than it gets is Azure Striker Gunvolt. And I'm pretty sure most of the reason why nobody pays attention to it is because that name is terrible. But it's really good. It's really good, and you should play it. And as much as this came off as a guy just rambling, because that's kind of what I do, because I am terrible at this, you should. And I've convinced you wholeheartedly. And I am sure once I upload this, I'll go to Google and I'll be like, Azure Striker Gunvolt 2 sales figures, and then there'll be news saying, ever since a couple of time ago, the Azure Striker Gunvolt 2 has sold more. It's incredible. It's a miracle. Franchise saved. Or by saved, I mean they're already working on another game, but I mean not saved. I mean like franchise brought to the light. Who knew that would happen? And it'll be worth it because Azure Striker Gunvolt 2 is really good. And by really good, I mean pretty good. Definitely worth your time is what I mean. Definitely worth your time because it's pretty short. It's shorter. It has a bunch. It does a bunch of bad things. Like I think the worst part about that game, and let me just throw this one bad thing out there, is that they kind of divided the whole 8 Robot Master thing. And since you play as both a Gunvolt and Copen, they're like, let's throw 3 Robot Masters for Gunvolt and then 3 for Copen. And then either way at the end game where you do the boss rush of every Mega Man game, each of them gets to fight all 6 plus the extras, but all 8 Robot Masters, 7 Robot Masters, whatever. So that's okay, but it kind of sucked that you only get to fight 3 with one and 3 with the other. And then, story-wise, that's it. So that kind of sucks that both of them don't get to interact with all 6 of them for story purposes. It's just pew pew. Yeah, and the bosses are pretty like their personalities, they're a lot less memorable. That's true. That's kind of a bummer, but it's still a good game. It's worth your time. It's like what, $15? It's definitely worth $15. Isn't there like a double? You buy both games for like $20, dude? It's for Switch. It's on Switch. Just buy that game on Switch, and then I don't know. Go to YouTube and find better reviews of it, and then be like, hey, yeah, I'll buy it because this other person convinced me. Do that because it's good. And I think it deserves a lot more credit than it gets. And even though this was just the ramblings of an idiot, I hope that it reaches at least one person that can tell me, hey, I picked up the game and it was actually good. And then I'll be like,
mission complete.
And that's gonna wrap up the video, I guess. I tried to do something short. Thanks. Oh, also the song for the character pick, the character select screen. Oh my god, the song for the character select screen is the best song. It's the song that I put in chunks over at the beginning of the video. Watch. Oh my God, that song is so good. Look it up. It's so good. Like, it'll make you want to play the game. Once you lets you character select screen, I'm all in. Also, the intro stage of that game is good. It's really good, actually. It's pretty cool. It's pretty high. Okay, I'm done. Short video. See you next season. There's gonna be a season.
Complete!